Trojan Felly, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. It's the top of the morning. Listen, I hope everybody is getting ready to get up, get out, and make some things happen this morning. Listen, we are all still riding high on this big time victory, USC versus Louisville yesterday. Listen, there are so many storylines to come out of this, and it's straight up go time. It's only popping, it's only cracking. And listen, one of the things that we got to talk about, of course, we're going to talk about Miller Moss, but we got to talk about some comments that Coach Lincoln Riley said, man. He made some comments at the press conference in reference to a quarterback maybe coming and maybe not coming. And we're going to address that. But real quick, before we address that, I want to talk about real quick some of the things that we seen last night and the level that we seen them on. And here's what I want to tell you guys. There's several things that I noticed. Not only did I see a bunch of freshmen break out last night, of course, we had guys like Mekhi Lemon. He started it off, looked like another Taj Washington. And we'll talk about Taj Washington as well. But then we seen a guy like Jacoby Lane, who I was very high on. He absolutely just went berserk last night. And you guys know, those who've seen the pregame, I talked about the mismatches. If USC could just get those mismatches and really throw the ball up in the air. I didn't say Hail Mary type stuff, but if we just throw it up in the air and just being able to create those mismatches with those big bodies like Taj Washington and Deuce Robinson, I felt like USC could take advantage and possibly win this game. So we'll talk about that, but it's Miller Moss, man. It's the Miller Moss show. We're going to talk about that. I want to talk about how Miller Moss, with the record-breaking performance that he had last night, was just unbelievable. He set all types of bowl records, but it was the ball placement, man. The ball placement that he put, he anticipated the pass being, well, the receiver being where he threw the ball to. And for him to do it the way he did it last night, and to have the type of poise that he had last night, and to have the type of composure that he has last night, it really speaks to the leadership ability of a guy like Miller Moss. I mean, I'm telling you right now, it's straight up go time. I want to run it back, and I want to show you something that Miller did last night. Let's take a look at this. You look at what he went for last night. He went 23 for 33 last night, 385 yards. That is a straight up bowl game. And then with the six TD passes, one INT. That is a Holiday Bowl record. And that is a USC bowl game record. It is a Pac-12 bowl game record. And so you got a guy like Miller Moss that comes in and does some phenomenal things last night. I mean, who would have ever thought? And I thought last night, I said to myself, and I told you guys this, I said, what if Miller Moss throws for 400 yards? And, you know, we need to give him the opportunity and the opportunity to compete. What if he throws for 400 yards? As I told you guys, I said, I guarantee you guys one thing. Miller Moss is going to push the ball down the field. You guys remember me telling you that? I also said that Miller Moss was going to get the ball out of his hands quickly. Everything that I told you guys that Miller Moss was going to do, Miller Moss absolutely did it. And so we seen it last night on another level. You seen him getting rid of it. He even had he had the faded throws last night where he was fading back, trying to elude the pass rushers. And look, he was throwing dime pieces to guys like Jacoby Lane, man, a true freshman. That's absolutely, look, USC future right now looks promising. And now, do you guys see why guys like Phil Steele, a lot of people said, Jay, you were wrong. Multiple people were wrong about USC. No, we wasn't wrong. The team hadn't gelled together like they did before, like last night. This team absolutely gelled together, and everything that we thought about this team, they were last night. The talent and the chemistry was there last night. All year long, we hadn't seen the chemistry there. I'm just calling it the way I seen it last night. We seen guys like Taj Washington, who always was consistent all year round, able to make things move and groove. And I'm so happy for him. He went over 1,000 yards, and I got to give him his flowers because Taj has been that guy. Taj has been truly consistent. And to have Miller Moss be able to do something like this, it's unbelievable, man. I want you guys to hit me in the comment section. You guys tell me what you think. And I'm going to address Lincoln Riley's comments in just a second. But they played like a unit last night. And so with that being said, my question to you guys is, did Lincoln Riley redeem himself last night? Because after last night, he even seemed to be a little more humble as it relates to his approach on everything. The transfer portal, the comments that he made, and I'm getting ready to play those in a second. But Lincoln seemed to have just a humble, and he seemed happy, man. It seemed like Lincoln was the Lincoln of old, of just calling the plays and relax. And look what Miller Moss, where he stands at in history, from bowl game history. He ranks third in history with 6 TD passes in the Holiday Bowl. The first you see Joe Burrow in 2019, which was the Peach Bowl. He threw 7. And then you see Cooper Rush. He threw it in the Bahamas Bowl. He threw 7. And then you see Miller Moss right here in the Holiday Bowl last night. This is a bowl game record, 6 TDs. And you see the rest of the guys, Jared Goff. He's in some great company right now. So my thing is to you, it's straight up go time. And not only that, we played against a team last night. It wasn't no cupcake team. Miller Moss played against where's ranked Louisville. I think they were ranked number 15 in the country. But if you look at the team as a whole in total defense, Louisville was ranked number 16 in total defense. You see some of the company that you see Utah right there at number 15, and you see Nebraska, Florida State, and what they were able to do to the number 16 total team in the country. I think you really got to give Miller his credit because he hadn't played all year long. Miller came out there as if it was his fifth, sixth, well, not even fifth, like he was a second-year guy. And here's the other question I want to ask you guys. Going into the Big Ten next year, what other quarterback do you guys think? When we look at the Big Ten quarterbacks, whether it's J.J. McCarthy, he may be the one coming back from Michigan. I'll talk about that. But I want to talk about this real quick. Jonah Simmons, phenomenal game. Please come back. And you see what he is here. His 34 pass block snaps last night. This was PFF. 0 pressures allowed last night. 80.9 pass blocking grade last night. Jonah Simmons showed up last night, and he absolutely showed out, man. You guys can hit me in the comments. What do you think about Jonah Simmons? He absolutely balled out. Listen, we're going to be dealing with this probably for the next few days because there's so many storylines out of this game. I can't get to it all. I was completely lost in the sauce as it relates to this game last night. Just did an instant reaction. But then you had a guy like Anthony Beavers as well, who had a 90.2 in defensive grade, first among safeties in Power 5 bowls as of today. He had an 88.1 run defensive grade. That was second among safeties in the Power 5 in bowl games. And then he had an 82.6 in tackling grade last night, fourth among safeties in the Power 5 in bowl games. 6 tackles, 0 missed tackles. Listen, Anthony Beavers showed out. Prophet Brown showed up last night, and he showed out. So there's so many storylines we want to talk about. Of course, you guys know we had guys to hit the transfer portal. Then we had guys to opt out. But our guys that were on the bench, they appeared to be those guys. Also, let me give a big shout out to Taj Washington. I'm giving you your flowers, man, because you have been the most consistent ever since you came from Memphis. You were under the Clay Helton regime. You were one of those guys that kept your composure, and you had 1,000 yards. And I told you guys before the game, I said Taj Washington will pass 1,000 yards this game, and he did it, and he balled out, and he's been the most, let's just call him Mr. Most Reliable. Taj Washington, man, it's straight up go time with him as well, man. So I'm excited about the future for Taj Washington. I'm excited about the future for USC football. It's straight up go time. What we witnessed last night, I think we all have a lot to be thankful for. And look, man, the pieces that we got coming in, look at this and the pieces that we have. Elijah Paige, shout out to the freshman. This was the pregame, some pregame warm-up. But look, Elijah Paige balled out last night. He is a 6'7", 300-pounder. And listen, USC has a big-time future with a guy like Elijah Paige. Real quick, let's transition over to what Lincoln Riley had to say about USC last night. And not only the USC, about the quarterback position, because he kind of alluded to some things. Listen to this.
When you have guys like that, it's even more of an advantage than maybe it was 5 or 10 years ago, because it's becoming a little bit harder to find. Miller's had a passion for this university and program for a long time. You've seen that in his ability to hang in there, to continue to get better. Part of, I think, the reason he played well tonight is the consistency that he's brought. You know, he could have bolted off at different times. He's stayed here. He's gotten better, and that's why a night like tonight happened. And he's obviously a tremendous leader for our program. Was a great leader for us tonight. He may have scared off anybody that didn't want to come here anyway. So
let me replay that.
He was awesome. I mean,
let me replay what he said. He said he might have scared off anybody.
And, I've said.
Let's play it. Let me get it back. Okay.
He may have scared off anybody that would want to come here anyway. So he was awesome. I mean, it's a performance game, and I've said.
Let me stop it right there. There were some last night that said, Jay, why are you disrespecting Will Howard? Listen, man, Lincoln Riley wasn't disrespecting Will Howard either. I wasn't disrespecting Will Howard. Here's the thing. After last night, it's disrespectful to put Will Howard over Miller Moss. That's what's disrespectful. And it was no disrespect to Miller Moss. But here's the question I want to know. You're talking about a guy that's put in this type of work, a guy that has been this consistent, a guy that has been the most reliable as far as just being a teammate, being a true Trojan, not departing when you could have departed, not leaving when you could have left. And for you to put up these type of, I just showed you guys the stats. Not only was it a Holiday Bowl record, but we're talking about bowl history. Here's the question. Do you think Will Howard would have did that last night? 6 touchdowns? The answer is no. I don't think so. And so when you look at this now, and some of the things that Lincoln Riley said that he might have been scared off from, he might have scared another quarterback off. Listen, I totally agree with him. Let's finish listening to what he has to say.
Previously, and our local guys know this, it's really, really important to me the longer I coach and going through this. And I don't know it all, but having people that this program is incredibly important to them.
Hold on for a second. Lincoln said he doesn't know it all. And to me, that right there is a signal, a point to where I'm proud of Lincoln at this point. What he says, I don't know it all. And listen, all of us could be lost in the sauce at some point. I'm lost in the sauce. But that was a level of humility right there that Lincoln displayed. And Lincoln Riley, Coach Riley, I want to say thank you. I salute you. He said he doesn't know it all. Even though he's the offensive genius, the offensive mind that he is, he really recognizing the fact that, and listen, I think he was surprised by everything that he saw from Miller Moss last night. I really believe that. That's number one point of that point. Number two is the fact that you have the capabilities and you call plays. You have great quarterbacks such as Jalen Hurts. You've had Kyler Murray. You had all these guys that you've coached up. And for you to say you didn't know it all, to me, that was so humbling for Coach Lincoln Riley to say, and to really be able to say, look, in other words, this is what he was saying. I don't know it all. I might have got it wrong. And now we should turn our attention to Lincoln Riley. That's what I got from that. I don't know what you guys got from it, but that's what I got from it. I'm turning my attention completely to a guy like Miller Moss because everything we need is right here. So here's the thing that I want to address real quick when we look at it. We don't need to go get any more quarterbacks on a level that's going to be the same level as a Miller Moss because at this point, I think we have our quarterback. Do we need some more quarterbacks to back up? Absolutely. But because anything can happen. But if we're going to pay money, and it seems to be in a bidding war right now for a guy like Will Howard. So look, let's do away with that. And if you're going to pay for somebody, let's pay for some offensive linemen that's going to protect Miller Moss and really help create that depth. And then let's pay for some defensive tackle that's going to be next to Bear Alexander. We seen Bear Alexander last night with the big time sack. So look, man, I'm not going to touch it all today. This is I'm just really scratching the surface of everything that we're going to be talking about this week. I think now USC has momentum going into the offseason, which is, Lord, man, I'm telling you, thank you, Lord. We needed this momentum because if we didn't have this momentum, we could have been lost in the sauce with the portal. We could have been lost in the sauce with the remaining guys that didn't sign yet. You know, everybody's talking about guys like Evan Stewart. And I'm kind of in the same boat as I am with Evan Stewart, as I am with a guy like Miller Moss, you know, and what I mean by that is sometimes, you know, you look at the amount of guys that we had. I think we do need some more depth, but you look at the guys that we had on the receiving corps last night and everything that they did. I'm telling you, and then you look at the guy like Marks who's coming in from Mississippi State. I think we got a lot of weapons, man, and we can utilize a lot of guys. So we can maybe use one more receiver, but at the same time, we don't want so many receivers where some of our guys don't get the ball like a Michael Jackson who transferred out. Of course, you guys know Mario transferred out. Brandon's not there. So we got a lot of guys already that are capable, very, very capable. And the thing is, you want these guys to be happy. You can't keep everybody happy, but you want them to be happy. So my question is, you guys can hit me in the comment section. I'm more apt to get in a receiver than I am to a quarterback at this point. A quarterback that you got to pay for. And so, and I know, you got these guys that are going to be looking for the bags, man. And here's my thing. You got guys already on your team that you don't even, I'm not even going to say you have to get a bag too, but they're going to get their money. But what I'm saying is these are Trojans. Jacoby Lane's a Trojan. Deuce Robinson's a Trojan. Mekhi Lemon is a Trojan. Zachariah Branch is a Trojan. These guys are all Kyron Hudson, he's a Trojan. These guys are Taj Washington's a Trojan. He's leaving though. But all of these guys are true Trojans. So look, if we're gonna get somebody, let's get somebody that's in the interior play. And because we already got the safeties coming in, we already got some cornerbacks. And let me shout out Prophet Brown, Jacoby Covington. Look, I'm gonna get to this stuff, but this is incredible. The amount of guys that played well last night. I'm excited about Eric Gentry played well last night. Mason Cobb played decent last night. Our linebacker crew played decent last night. The defense, held Louisville to under 150 yards passing. I'm not gonna be able to get to all this. Let me stop. But some of the things that we've seen and witnessed, it's straight up go time, man. So look, man, I'm just scratching the surface. This is just the first of many videos. We're gonna see a trickle down effect. This is gonna be a domino effect for the USC football team in the offseason. Look, man. You guys hit me in the comments. You guys tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe. You guys already know where you can find me. It's USCJ32 on Instagram, USCJ32 on Twitter. Listen, until later on, I'm out of here. Don't forget, make sure you get up, get out, and make some things happen. Until later on, fight on, fight on, fight on.